Hello, today is the 30th of December, and I'm going to read on the future of Christianity and its hold in politics, the right-wing Republican push ever more to bring their religion into some kind of state, basically religion. And religion's been overstepping its place from the start. There's a separation of church and state. That needs to come back in, and a lot of these churches need to be taxed. The big mega churches especially. Not the small ones that are struggling and they actually do some good. Yeah, that's my opinion. May not be popular with everyone, but I'm a grown woman, so, you know, my skin is pretty thick. What I want to see, and I mean no disrespect, there are people that I know that are Christian that are very good Christians, but there are many more that I know of that aren't, so... And it's a feeling that I have personally, generally, towards organized religion in general. Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I'll read what the cards have to say. And because I'm not a fan, doesn't mean that if you are involved in organized religion that I don't automatically like you. Only way I don't automatically like someone is if they harbor ill will toward people for no other reason than, you know, stupid things like how they look or their differences. And if someone, you know, is a nasty person, not nice, doesn't have a sense of humor, always will be shown the door. So let's just see what the future of Christianity is. Again, I have neutral investment in many ways. Even if I'm not a fan, it's like, I'm not, you know, if you can believe what you want. I'm not somebody that's going to go to the extreme of like, okay, now I'm all anti. No, I believe, you know, unless you're coming at me with your beliefs, which you better not. Live and let live. But not most people that are in organized religion just can't seem to do that. They want to go off to an extreme. And they cause most of the wars. I'm sorry, it's the truth. And it's over stupid stuff. So many people die and live miserable lives. They really need organized religion itself is a problem. But just because I feel that its toxicity needs to be checked, because it is a part of a patriarchal system that is not a healthy system. My opinion. So let's see. I'm using the Madame Wilhelmina deck. And I'm going to use the Endora fortune cards as clarifiers. Gonka had asked me what deck I was using, and I wasn't sure whether she meant, I assumed she meant the deck that I had in the reading, and not the graphic I used, but I think she actually may have meant the graphic, because the cards I were using was not the graphic that I really liked that I used for my video, which is of cards of this deck. Anyway, so I noticed and again, I don't often read others, I don't often watch other readers' stuff. I just don't have the energy, like I've said before. Occasionally I do, and I enjoy it, but I noticed the headline that one of hers, that she had reviewed this deck, so I will have to go and see what she thinks. But I like it. I've used it a bit, and I just got the book that accompanies it, which is not necessary, but interesting to have. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to be, these are the decks I'm using very quickly. And so we are going to look at the future of Christianity in this country and in general, but especially with regards to this country regarding politics. So firstly, let's just break it down. What is the future of Christianity as an organized religion? And also, what is the future of its impact on politics? Okay. Again, this is the Madame Wilhelmina Tarot that I'm using here. We have Temperance, that it needs to be tempered. First card, right from the get-go, says this needs some tweaking. And this is the Ace of Swords. This is clarity, being clear on things, becoming more balanced and clear and transparent. Those are the cards coming up so far. A Five of Coins. Now, I think this speaks of a lot of people that feel that they don't fit in. Because of the church's antiquated ideas, frankly, about society and people, and their repressive, often, ideas about, frankly, freedom to express yourself, if it contrasts with their role model of restraint. So, supposedly, again, anyway, this is showing that the state of it is it's seen better days, and it's dealing with people, I think, feeling less and less like they fit or are welcome. That's definitely going on. And the Five of Cups. So let's just read the first line, okay? And I'll put out the next two. Okay. Now, we have Temperance. And this makes me feel like there's going to be people within, I think, with the future, that are working on tempering the church, changing it where it needs to be changed. Now, the church is very, very, very slow to change. It needs to speed up. And there's certain things it needs to be very clear about and transparent about also. I think honesty and having boundaries, and the boundaries between politics and religion, also part of the question. there needs to be also a clear boundary there. Separation of church and state. These things, and within its hierarchy itself, Christianity needs to change. It needs to update with the times. It needs to have and be more representative of the varied people that exist in the world, and not just cis, binary people. There's a feeling of just not being welcome. And I have to say, I'm one of those people. I've been called, as a child, told that I was an atheist when that wasn't the case. I just had never gone to that particular church before. And that's the way I was treated. And this was in the Bible Belt. Trust me, I know about fundamentalist fundies. I've been dealing with them since childhood. And it's why I don't live where they have such a stranglehold on the politics and the mentality of and the energy of the state. Truthfully, getting out of that just made me feel a lot better. I'm being honest here, and I feel like that sense that people have of just not being welcome for a number of reasons, because they're part of the LGBTQIA, like my own family, my own 2 children, and or they are a parent of, like myself, and they see that they are not welcome, that they are told horrible things about themselves, about who they are, and that's not right. They put a lot of people off. And then getting up into women's rights and our rights to not just be machines of reproduction and controlled. They have to get updated. They need to bring all these different aspects in, women, and the treatment of minorities and people that are different, because people are leaving. And the church is going to find that its coffers, and especially where lawsuits and things like that are concerned, because it has to balance out what it's done. To me, this is also karmic. It's got to adapt or die. And I believe that it has caused so much suffering here. A lot of people are going to leave, frankly. I see that continuation. We got 2 5s, and the 5 of Cups and the 5 of Pentacles for its future. Just in this one line, it looks like the message here is it needs to change. It needs to become more inclusive and intersectional, and or it's people are just going to walk away because it's going to just die back. Frankly, a die back is very clearly going to happen, because they need to implement very clearly, and I would say quickly, more quickly, perhaps too, with that sword as indicated, than it takes. And therefore, I see a lot of people, that's going to be slow. And maybe the question is, by the time they implement it, is it too late? I do see people trying to stick around and bring balance to it. And they will gain more leverage as more people leave. But I think it will take more mass exodus from organized religions in general for them to change. But where Christianity is concerned, it looks like it's going to have a dieback, and it doesn't look to like it's in great shape in the future, because people, are going to continue to leave. Here we have the Queen of Cups. We have the Hanged Man. Yes, see, this is their hang up. They need to also consider different points of view. What I'm saying, diversity, different points of view, and the feelings of other people who've had to leave, that they've hurt. Firstly, they have to address that. And to me, this is a very dealing with the wounds that have been caused. It's a very feeling card, this Queen of Cups, here under the Temperance and with the Hanged Man. It needs to address this. Again, a card of abandonment with the Eight of Cups, falling under the Five of Pentacles, of it losing strength, of it losing, I feel like, a hold also in its place in society, because it doesn't or resists growing and incorporating. And when you do that, you'll die. You need to adapt and grow, not be so rigid. They've been too rigid, and this does not look like a good outcome for them. The Magician. People will also be in the future, I think, expressing. There's going to be much more. I think you're going to see more documentaries, more trends of people coming forward about their experiences. Actually, what I feel like with that Magician card, it's creative, it's communicative, and in different ways communicating their sorrow, their sense of rejection, and low esteem, mental health issues that have been created. It's like it's going to hear it whether it likes it or not. I see a movement of people making creative means of communication, communicating to the publicly about leaving and why. It will become more into the forefront. It's abused its power, frankly. Its power is supposed to help heal people, not divide them, not make people abusive, And we see real struggles within. There are, with this Five of Wands, and it's hostile. It's a very hostile card. And I kind of believe people are going to, in the future, be giving their feelings in clear manner about why they're leaving. Okay? And a lot of it is to do with the constant battle that it's created, where it is not equal, it is not inclusive. Okay? And it's not wanted to do that. It's meant to have been inclusive, and it says it is, but it's not. So it's a lie, the way they're currently are. And that's why people also, they don't want any more of this gaslighting stuff. They want clarity and truth and to the point. This is the Six of Coins. This is help or assistance. And, well, when we go vertically, it looks like something is definitely going to happen where their donation and perhaps their tax-free ride could be over. I think there's going to be a change with that, with how they're funded. And that, because they're just too tightly in where they should not be, and they're causing a lot of harm. It just shows this is sad, but it's true. Eight of Wands. Okay, we are now, again, this falls under the loss of number of people, the support financially is going to go, and the emotional abandonment of it is, and energetically people are going to go elsewhere. People are going to look elsewhere to other means of spiritual belief or ways that suit themselves, that suit who they are, that are more accepting of who they are, or the church has not. And that's already happened. Expect more of it, is what it's saying. And the Eight of Coins is about education. And this is, I feel like, and the Eight of Coins is over and over again as well. Usually education and work, skill, employment. I just feel like people are going to be like in droves. Really, if you were to look at the big picture, we don't really maybe not notice as much, but we will be, because I see what's coming in is people leaving. And the interesting thing too is each line says leaving at the last two cards, going somewhere else for their basis of understanding and their spiritual, I think, awareness and understanding, logic, knowledge, wisdom. They look like people. It looks like people will continue to go elsewhere. Yes. Okay. Now I'm going to draw a couple of the Madame Endora's fortune cards for clarification. Very quickly. Okay. Forgive me for a moment. Some of my cards were turned around. So let me just... What can you clarify about the future of the Church, of Christianity in this country, and in general? And on this reading, especially that where it looks like people are going to go elsewhere and they feel the church is going to have more competition here too for people's money and donations. I feel like people are going to want to put their money elsewhere and into other belief systems. Okay, so what about separation of church and state in our politics and the future of that? How does that look? Will we finally demand real separation of church and state? Because there has been for way too long an overreach of religion. And the reality is we are not just a nation. We may have been developed by people who identified as Christian, but this land was here before they were, and, you know, it doesn't really, to me, I don't get all hung up, well, this is a Christian issue. I know some people do, but so what? The present situation here and now is we have a variety of people here, and not all of them subscribe to this really more and more growing fundamental extremist point of religion, Christianity, that wants to invade our politics. So I want to see what's going to happen with that. Will that back off? Will that be cut out of government? Fire. Reckless actions lead to conflict. Well, yes. They have to be careful about it, but there is going to be conflict with some people. And it's a conflict I think we need to have, but yes, you need to be careful of your actions, and especially them. They need to be careful. They've been a mess all over the place. The Oracle. Seek wisdom and guidance from elders. I feel like you're going to see a trend of people looking to value more traditional, perhaps folksy even, more nature, more natural and logical. I feel like, it just depends on the person. But as far as the church, separation of church and state, yes. I think that it will be carefully handled. There will be people that, and they already have behaved recklessly with their religion, as far as I'm concerned. It's the rest of us that are under threat. A water. Yeah, and it's a very emotional issue. It says emotions are at their peak, where this is concerned in politics, because there are people that are in politics that that are part, like some of them are religious leaders. But so I think it again with the Temperance, it will be perhaps something that does come under, expect resistance about it, but I believe that it will be wisely dealt with. I believe that they know they're dealing with a lot of people's emotions, that they can't do it overnight, and you will be guided through the darkness. So I feel like the universe will help people in government to correct the balance. They realize they can't just rush in there, and that it's a very emotional thing, but they can no longer also stand, it's also a very emotional thing, the abuse of minorities and people they don't approve of by their sexuality or gender identity or whatever. That, folks, I think it'll change faster actually in society, maybe than so much in politics, although if there's a push in society, there will be a push there too. But I see that good fortune and friendship wins out with the unicorn, where we can be a unique, we'll realize that we can be a unique country that is like a unicorn. We're magical and magically delicious. And we have a variety of people here. And I think that at the end of the day is what will be more honored. But, yeah, they're going to get some pearls, excuse me, curls. Pearls will be clutched. So there's my reading, which I think is interesting on the future of Christianity, and it's a quick look at what it's going to be like in the future with regard to how this country will trend. Anyway, if you found this content interesting, I would appreciate a like and a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Maybe it'll actually work. And I'll see you in the next video.